Hi, nobodies. Um, excuse my appearance. I have not been up for very long. Um, and somehow I managed to look worse than I do on normal occasions. um, so I wanted to talk about something that was bugging me before I went to bed last night. I watched this story on this girl who, at 5 years old, uh, had an accident in a pool where her small intestine was sucked out of her body. And in Egypt, they did not have the means to take care of her, which I find kind of crazy about the world. It's like, okay, y'all, like, this person has to come to America to get medical care because your country doesn't do it, like, doesn't offer that. And that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, how does your country not have the same medical knowledge that another country has? Um, so that's the first thing. But they actually had the means somehow to come here and to live here and to, and then when they got here, of course they're not citizens. And even if they were, um, there would be certain limits to what could be done. But they they've been paying out of pocket for everything. This girl has had like 5 transplants. So I mean, these people have done their fair share to give her as normal of a life as she can have. Unfortunately, she's rejected all 5 um, small intestines, and the 5th time, the rejection managed to cost her her pancreas, liver, stomach, and large intestine. So, um, the thing that bothers me is, like, if she was born in America, she'd just be put on the transplant list, and when her name pops up, she would get it. Um, it's a $3 million surgery. She's not a citizen. And they said that they couldn't get health insurance, or maybe their health insurance that they could pay for wouldn't pay for that much, because that's a lot. I mean, think about it. Private insurance are, you know a $3 million surgery. What's it gonna cost you? you know but we have to keep in mind, this is a child. So what I don't understand, what gets to me, is, if we're supposed to be this great country, we're supposed to be this country of Big Brother. Not Big Brother like 1984 Big Brother, but like, oh, you got a problem with that bully? Here we come. You know, like like we got you, little sis. Like, we're gonna whoop their ass. I mean, that's the kind of mentality that America's supposed to have. Like, like we're supposed to go in and save the day. That's what our soldiers don't just sign up for our freedom. Our soldiers sign up for um being the savior. Like, oh, well, they're gonna send us, because I really don't think, like, excuse me, a lot of the stuff that we've gotten into benefits, like I don't think those are threats to our freedom. I think those are more missions of, hey, we're protecting some assets. Some money is there. And we don't want the bad guys to have the money. We want the money for ourselves. But our soldiers are going over there because are going to help because they don't want to see innocent women and children dying. We've got groups like Doctors Without Borders, church groups that do pilgrimages to places because, we got to teach them the word of God. And they can't make this kid's surgery happen. That is basically like the big brother thing to do, is to say, we got to make this happen. And I know Grey's Anatomy is not real life, but there are teaching hospitals and surgery people who go into surgery, just like any other doctor, they have to go through training. And there's lots of, hey, we've got this going on. Do you want to assist? Like they have to witness things. These are teachable moments. And transplants are pretty teachable. And when you add into it that it's 5 at once, and it's like, why are we not sending like this team of doctors that would do that for her? That are capable of it. Why are we not sending them to Egypt? Just to show those doctors, hey, here's how this is done. Like if those doctors don't know for some oddball reason. I mean, like I said, it makes no sense to me that the medical knowledge that is here isn't everywhere, or the medical knowledge that is in one clinic in Austria. Why is it not everywhere? Why are they not sharing that information? Why are these other countries not sending, like, this is the top doctor in Cairo, so, this doctor's going to go find out how to do something, I mean, if we're going to go in and save the day for everybody when it benefits people that we don't know, the 1%, and I don't think anybody can look at this kid. And I mean, you are a pretty heartless person if you can look at any child who's got a birth defect or has had an accident and you're like, well, screw them. They weren't born in America. I mean, you are a pretty heartless bastard if you can look at a child and say, sucks to be you. No. It's like, no. You're going to look at this kid and think, I want them to have a decent life, as decent of a life as they can have. I mean, this girl, she's 16 years old. She looks like she's maybe 10. She's got a lot of problems, but, she lives as normal of a life as she can. She ain't let it, like, get her down for the most part. And kids having that kind of mentality of, well, like, I mean, you look at those St. Jude's commercials, you're like, oh, that poor kid. Are they sad? No, they're not sad. We're sad because we want their lives to be better. So how can you look at one kid and say, oh, that's an American kid, I feel bad, and then look at another kid and be like, well, they should have been born in America. And I mean, not that our healthcare is free, but in places where there is free healthcare, sometimes they just don't offer the work, or the people can't get to where the work is done. And I just think it doesn't make a lot of sense to me that a surgery to make her, to possibly, because there is the chance of rejection, and she has rejected 5 different small intestines. We would do that for an American child. You know, a lot of our insurance would pay for that because they'd say, well, she doesn't have a pancreas. We want her to have a pancreas and a stomach and a small intestine and a large intestine. You know, we want her to have those things. So it shouldn't matter that she's from somewhere else. She is a human being. And this is not somebody who came here to freeload. And even if their family did, this is a child. This is a minor. And as far as I'm concerned, the little girl's been here long enough, and in the way she talks and stuff, she's as American as any person born here. I've never liked this whole mentality of, well, you should have been born here. I used to have a friend that would say that. I know, like, choose your friends better, Ann. Like I said, I don't turn people down for one reason, but, you know, I was like, dude, I tried to explain it to him. I was like, okay, imagine you're here, because you're here, and you're broke as fuck. And you get this opportunity to go to Canada and make more money in a month or a year than you could make in your whole lifetime where you're at. It's one small catch, though. To get the job, you have to save up. You know, we'll say 20,000. Maybe it's 100,000. I'm not sure exactly what the equivalent is in doing things the legal way, as far as, you know, getting from Guatemala or Ecuador or Mexico into the States legally, and how much time it takes. But forget about the time it takes, because say the job's going to be there. It's just going to be there, regardless of how long it takes you. But you've got to get that money together before you can make that money. But you're stuck in a place where that money doesn't grow on trees. So yeah, you could save for 10, 15 years. You know, you could sacrifice. You could do all that. You know, you could work your hands to, you could work your fingers to the bone to do that. And God love you. You know, but a lot of people, they say, you know, I'm 20. I want a wife and kids. I want to give them things. You know, I can't save up this money. I can't do this for 20 years and then get the family I want. I want things now. And most Americans should understand this concept of, I want it now. Like, I don't want to wait. I want it now. Instant gratification, right? So if you could still get the job and the money just by figuring out a way to get across the border, aren't you going to do that? I mean, wouldn't most Americans do that if all it took was just, you know, like, hey, I just gotta get across that border, you know, find a weak spot, and then I can make all this money. And not only can I improve my life, I can improve the lives of my family. I can send money home. My parents will be better off. As Americans, we don't really think about how good we've got it compared to others, because we don't live like that. We don't understand how a guy working one job can support himself and send money back to his family, where his family's living pretty good. You know, we don't understand that, you know, and a lot of these anti-immigration and racist fuckers, they don't understand how hard life is for these folks. Why they're willing to come, you know, why they're willing to take the chances of, you know, having a coyote bring them. And they're taking those risks. It's because they want the thing that America says we are great. You know, like if everybody's gonna be like, make America great again or keep America great. One of the things that makes us great is that people still see this as a land of opportunity. Now, I don't think the average American really sees America as the land of opportunity. You know, a lot of us bitch about how little they pay us to do some job. You know, you don't pay me enough for that. You ain't my boss. You know, I ain't your bitch. I ain't your slave. You know, you don't pay me enough. You know, like, oh, they owe me this. You know, like we talk about what they owe us. No, they promised you a paycheck. They don't owe you anything extra. No. They don't owe you drinks from the fridge. They owe you the paycheck that they told you they'd give you if you work so many hours. So, you know, I mean, if nothing else, we should be doing surgeries for children and eating the cost. I mean, the shit's ridiculous anyway. I mean, if we can't have universal health care, if we can't follow suit with what the rest of the fucking world is doing, we should at least be taking care of, you know, when a kid's got something wrong with them. If we can make things better, we should be doing that for that child without the parents having to pony up an exorbitant amount. Because that surgery, if it was performed in Egypt, you can bet would not cost as much. Because nobody could mark up all the stuff as much. You know, gauze that costs $3 would not be marked up to 30 or 40 as hospitals and stuff like to do. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking about there. I think I'm going to go back to sleep. I still feel like shit. I mean, well, not too bad. I just know I'm not 5x5. So I am going to try to have the best kind of day I can have. I hope that you have a good day. If anything goes south, just remember that every moment is an opportunity to turn things around. There are some things you can't turn around. If you're sick, get better, rest, do that. So, I'm gonna go now. Bye.